Welcome to Crypto Coach. In this video, we are going to offer viewers a grasp of the fundamentals concerning decentralized applications, popularly known as DApps. In essence, DApps, or decentralized applications, are smart contract-based blockchain equivalents of the popular apps made popular by the Ethereum network. Even if a user does not see the difference, they behave exactly like traditional apps and offer a far wider range of capabilities. DApps give people a new way to deal with their own money. When most people think of traditional finance, they think of things like lending money, borrowing money, saving money, and other similar things. Each of these is run by a central authority, such as banks or other financial institutions. Many people, however, believe that cryptocurrencies and blockchain represent the financial future. How can routine monetary transactions like loans work in a decentralized state of affairs? Let us now discuss the history of DApps. Blockchain technology has progressed much beyond a basic financial transaction, even though Bitcoin is the first blockchain network to use it. A decentralized way of life was the goal when Vitalik Buterin and his colleagues first suggested Ethereum to the crypto community back in 2013. Rather than companies controlling the internet, Buterin envisioned a blockchain-based internet in which consumers were in charge. What are known as smart contracts are just automated if-then expressions. Rules and constraints were built into the coding of these contracts, so they can't be changed. Rather than relying on centralized platforms, transactions can now be carried out directly between the parties involved. In 2014, a report titled The General Theory of Decentralized Applications, DApps, was released that served as a definition for the term DApp. Authors like David Johnston and Sean Wilkinson, both of whom have previous experience in the space, contributed to the book's composition. As outlined in the study, DApps are characterized as having the following characteristics. Open source code and no third-party participation are required for a DApp. It must be user-driven, meaning that the user can propose and vote on modifications that are automatically applied. All data must be stored in a blockchain network that is open to the public. Having no one point of attack makes decentralization essential. A cryptographic token must be used by DApps in order to gain access, and contributors such as miners and stakers must be compensated in this token. Proof of work or proof of stake must be used to produce tokens for a DApp. The paper then divides DApps into 3 types or layers based on how users interact with them. Layer 1 DApps are independent and run on their own blockchain. This type of DApp, like Bitcoin, are the most popular projects. For example, they need a consensus algorithm and rules that are already built in. Layer 2 DApps are usually built on top of Layer 1 and use the power of the blockchain. To communicate, they use tokens or protocols. A good example of a Layer 2 DApp is a scaling solution that is built on top of Ethereum. Transactions can be processed on this second layer before they are committed to the first. This takes some of the load off of the main chain. Lastly, Layer 3 DApps are built on top of Layer 2, and they often hold the information that the other 2 layers need to work together. It could store the API and scripts that are needed for Layers 1 and 2 to work. For example, a Layer 3 protocol could hold several Layer 2 DApps and make the user experience easier across all of them. A simple definition of DApps in the paper is that they are a variety of applications that are driven by the blockchain. Some may develop on top of that first layer, but they are all deemed DApps if they fit the aforementioned criteria. What's the point of a digital wallet app or DApp? There are numerous advantages to decentralization vs centralized apps. There is no third-party intermediary because of the smart contract. It is possible to send money to anyone using a service like Venmo, but shifting the funds to a bank account incurs a transaction fee. In addition, shifting fiat can take a long time because it often takes several days to arrive. In contrast, sending money via a decentralized app entails no or minimal transaction fees. Because decentralized transactions are practically instantaneous, this saves both time and money for users. DApps, on the other hand, do not rely on centralized servers. As there is no physical device to attack, decentralized platforms offer an advantage in that they are invulnerable to all types of attacks, besides making the network more secure. This ensures that there will be no interruptions in service. DApps can be used in a wide range of fields, including gaming, medicine, government, and even the storage of files. There isn't much difference between using a DApp and a regular application as a result. While the changes on the backend benefit users, the actual experience should remain the same. Decentralization of information is another term for Web 3.0's new manner of engaging with applications. When the internet first got its start, it was an open resource that anybody could use. It was gradually consolidated by huge corporations over time. In exchange for their free services, these companies obtain our personal information, which they then resell for profit. As a result, companies have complete control over their customers' personal information, including what they want to buy, how much money they have, and who they know. That power also means they have the ability to remove it. In Web 3.0, DApps can be used without sacrificing privacy. Users can instead decide who sees and how long they have access to only the information they need, such as medical records or financial information for a loan application. Additionally, companies may pay for this access, which ensures that the users benefit as well. There's also a trust issue to contend with. It's difficult to put your faith in anyone when even huge corporations with a reputation for great security are exposing usernames, emails, and passwords. Are there any negative aspects to the use of DApps? This may sound like the beginning of the end for companies, but decentralized applications still face some key challenges that must be addressed. In the absence of a central authority, upgrades and platform changes may take longer. In the end, it's only one party's responsibility to keep their app current. In contrast, even a simple bug repair in a DApp demands majority agreement from the acting governance body. The argument could last for weeks or perhaps months, depending on how many people are involved. Additionally, for DApps to function correctly, they need a sizable user base. Just to communicate with it, they require nodes, governance, and users. DApps are still in the early stages of development, and many aren't getting the support they need. It may be possible to download a DApp in the future. However, for the time being, users must download a DApp-enabled browser, transmit the appropriate crypto to that wallet, and then use the browser to communicate. While technically savvy users will have no trouble with this, the great majority of individuals will have no notion where to begin with it. In the financial sector, DApps may seem like a no-brainer, but they can really be revolutionary in any industry. These advantages can be seen in various industries, including finance, social media, gaming, and more. DApps can be used by both lenders and borrowers in the money lending industry. Lenders at banks are compensated with interest rates based on the amount of money they have saved. By saving more, the bank has more money to lend, which means that both the bank and the borrower benefit financially. It is not uncommon for banks to charge more fees than lenders would prefer just for providing a safe place to keep their money. DApp lenders get to keep all of their interest because there's no middleman. All of this while earning tokens from a platform they choose to lend on, which gives them more control over the loans they take out. When it comes to interest rates and how long it takes to pay them, borrowers have more say than lenders do. It's true that certain lending platforms allow borrowers to defer interest payments for months or even years, provided they achieve a minimum payment level. The borrower has the option of discussing interest rates with the lender, assuring a mutually beneficial outcome. Proceeds can be received promptly once all is said and done, all thanks to smart contract technology. There is no need for third parties, such as lawyers, to be involved in the confirmation process, which delays it and increases the expense to both sides. Social networking DApps have the potential to be a boon to the general public. First and foremost, there is no censorship of posts, which means that everyone can express themselves. However, if a post becomes an issue, the community can vote to have it removed from the site by consensus. It is possible for influencers to earn even more money. The company makes the most money from popular tweets on more traditional channels like Twitter. In exchange for all of the traffic, it receives advertising revenue, while the author receives Well, nothing at all. There may be a built-in tipping system using the token of the social media DApp, so that users can run advertising and earn their full payments, rather than having the firm take an additional part. Using DApps for gaming has always been a fascinating use case. Games currently demand dozens of hours of time and money from players to grow a character, only to have that character sit there and rot when the player moves on. Using DApps is a more attractive option because of its value. For example, consider the game CryptoKitties. A toy cat is the tokenized object that each player receives. If properly cared for, that kitten will mature and become increasingly valuable. If there is a willing buyer, a user can resell the cat for whatever they want. There is also the possibility of developing an even rarer and potentially more valuable cat by breeding with other cats. These digital cats are up for grabs, with the players free to do whatever they wish with them. The time they put in is now actually worth something. There aren't many, but imagine that concept in a full-fledged game with a lot of time spent playing. Gaming as a full-time job could be on the horizon. Voting is sometimes a difficult experience. In many cases, it requires a number of processes to be validated, some of which are unavailable to individuals who lack adequate accommodation or suffer from other hardships. Then there is the issue of tampering and other illegal practices. Smart contracts enable a voting DApp to make the process accessible to everyone. Basically, the community can vote on a list of suggestions. So, for example, they may create a 24-hour period for people to stake their vote with tokens. Anyone can participate, and they can vote anonymously if they choose to do so. It is impossible to alter or tamper with votes recorded in a decentralized network, making them unchangeable and secure. More people will vote because of smart contracts, because they can be rewarded with a token for their participation. An ad blocker is frequently used by those who want their internet experience to be ad-free. However, it's understandable in some ways because advertising have grown so irritating that it's difficult for websites to make money from them. This can be fixed with a browser DApp. Users earn crypto by blocking ads and trackers with a browser-integrated blocker. Now, people can authorize contributions to creators and websites they enjoy. This means users pay more to a site the longer they browse. Users can enable adverts for those sites, which helps them long-term. Here, privacy rules. Users pick who can track them, securing their data while funding platforms. It's win-win. If you enjoyed this video, please support our channel by clicking like and subscribe if you haven't already. To wrap things up, thank you everybody for stopping by. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.